Use the gradient tool to apply to the selection of my blank sky to try to get some more color in my pure white sky I've got here. The first thing I'm going to do is just select one area, and I've set the tolerance to about 10 there, and I have contiguous, so that means it's going to only check for pixels that are touching to each other. Holding down the shift key will allow you to select some other areas. So in essence, I've done now, I've added in all the areas by holding down the shift key. Now I'll take it all out again. Turn off contiguous. Now watch what happens when I click here. It selects areas throughout the image that are similar tone to what we had there. So that's not a great way to do it. Let's go back. I'm going to hold down, go to press contiguous first, and then click in the first area, hold down the shift key, and then add in whatever areas I need with the shift key. That's taken in my selection. Now I need to put this selection area on its own layer so I can control the opacity of it, the brightness and darkness of it, relative to the original picture, the people in front of the church. To do that, I'm going to press down Command Option Shift N. This is going to make up a new layer, but it's only going to have the selection in there. If I turn it off here, it's going to have the selection in there on its own transparent layer. So it's knocked out the church area, which wasn't selected, and kept the area as transparency where I did select it, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to grab the gradient tool using the foreground to the first one here, the foreground to background. I've selected a couple of different shades, and you can select them a couple ways here. You can click on the color box and pick whatever shade you like. I'll pick a lighter shade now. There we go. So I have a lighter to darker blue shade. Let's not take quite as dark a blue shade there. There we go. So I've got two different shades there now. I'm just going to click and drag over my image from top to bottom, and it's going to drop in a bit of a gradient. You can see it's coming in a little bit heavy. Depending how long I drag, I change the transition area. Depending how short I drag, makes it longer. So I'll pick a gradient somewhere around there. Just a bit of a tone happening up in the sky. Now you're looking at it saying it's too garish, too blue, not normal. Now you can grab your opacity because it's on its own layer. If we did it on the base layer, we couldn't knock the opacity back of the sky only. And I'm going to hide the ants by going Command H, dancing ants. So now I don't have the ants. They're still selected, but I don't have the ants bothering me now. And I'm just going to dial it down to it looks a reasonable amount of blue in the sky for the situation, maybe somewhere around there. And that I can probably live with. So I've got a gradient in there applied with the foreground background colors. Now I'm just going to come in and flatten those layers. So we have flattened layers and they're both together. Now I've locked in that blue into my gradient, and the selection, hopefully around the edge with the magic wand tool, has done a went the wrong way. Bring it up again. Oh, went the wrong way. See, if you go sideways in your mouse, on these track mice, it makes everything go away. It doesn't look too bad around the selection there. And that's using the gradient tool, making a selection to drop into the background.